Hello again. This time I mean, it might have looked this way before too, but I'm not organized this time. It's impossible to organize this. What's happening now before the election with the Hillary problem and the FBI problem and so forth and so on. You can't organize the unorganizable. But anyway, that's my excuse, and I'm just trying to follow reality. Reality is very confusing at the moment. So we're about 1 week ahead of the election, and then after that, we just don't know what's going to happen. And the news as of just about today is that the FBI director is continuing the case against one of the candidates, and that would be Hillary, of course, and we're looking into, says the FBI, her private email server, and there's another computer now belonging to a former congressman and his estranged wife, and the estranged wife is a very good buddy of Hillary. All right, so let's take a look at what's been going on. It's all absurd. It's wonderful from the viewpoint of legend and lore and myth and so forth. What we have that's, I think, most interesting is the media reaction to what's been going on. The FBI say many people in the media, not everybody, but many people in the media are saying that the FBI is undermining our democracy by proceeding with the case against Hillary or against Hillary's associate because, say the media, it's so close to the election that this stuff just shouldn't come out. Now, that's not precisely the way it is, but that's basically the way it is. The idea is, say, too many people in the media, isn't the FBI undermining our democracy, though? I mean, this is really bad form, right? There's policy against this, and there's tradition against this, and so forth and so on. Well, the media had the same reaction when Mr. Trump, the other candidate, came out and said a while ago, you know what? The whole thing is rigged. The system is rigged. And what did you hear in the media? From almost everybody. You can't go around saying that. American democracy cannot stand such stuff. It is not rigged. Our democracy is pure. It's the leading democracy in the entire world. Nobody, it seemed like, agreed with Mr. Trump that the system was rigged. A little bit of history, like 6 months ago, not very long ago at all. Who else was running around saying the system is rigged? And the media were saying nothing evil about that at all. None other than Senator Sanders. All you had to do was go to one of his big events and hear him say, the system is rigged. So my point here is, where are the media? The media are not in the corner labeled fairness, let's put it that way. And actually, isn't there some rational reason to think that the system is rigged? Take a look at what happened to Hillary. Well, actually, nothing happened to Hillary a few months ago when the FBI apparently closed its case 10 days after a certain former president visited the Attorney General on an airplane in, I think, Arizona. Now, there's no proof whatsoever about anything that was untoward that may have been said. The trouble is, there's no proof of anything. Nobody was there taking notes. And at least one former Attorney General said, that's really strange. The Attorney General meeting with a guy, Bill, who is pretty closely related to a candidate under investigation. And then 10 days later or so, the Attorney General says, what crimes? This is pretty amazing. All right, this is supposed to happen in banana republics, not here. All right, what else? Donna Brazile, who's the, I believe, temporary chairman of the DNC, used to be a CNN contributor, and she has now been caught. Apparently, you have to be very careful here, there are leaked emails that purport to show that when she was a CNN contributor, she fed candidate Hillary questions in advance of televised debates. And that's why Hillary looked so good. That's not rigged. Of course that's rigged. And what about in 1992, when a certain candidate named Bill, last name Clinton, put one and one together, went around saying that he was happy, at least that's my information, he seemed to be happy, about an FBI or at least Attorney General or at least U.S. government investigation of a cabinet member of the senior President Bush. So let's start out with that again. Bill Clinton, according to my information, was very happy about a U.S. government investigation and indictment of a cabinet member against a cabinet member in the cabinet of a president that Bill Clinton was running against. So I hope that's halfway clear. Again, it's a very murky situation. Bill Clinton was very happy about an indictment of a senior U.S. official very close to what? An election. At that time, Bill Clinton and his media buddies were not saying, you know what, stuff like this just shouldn't come out right before an election. In 1992, it's okay. In 2016, apparently not. Well, what's the basis of these rigging charges that Sanders and others have brought against the system? Is there any basis for this whatsoever? Well, I've given 2 or 3 examples, and the ultimate basis of it is this: the Supreme Court and the U.S. Constitution. Rigging has been part of the American system in the United States for an awful long time. Here's one question for you. What does the U.S. Constitution say about popular elections for the U.S. presidency? When do they have to be held? Answer: never. The U.S. Constitution says nothing whatsoever, to my knowledge, about a popular election for the U.S. presidency. It goes into this obscure thing about an electoral college. What does it say about the electoral college? Well, it says that electors will be appointed by the states, and the electors will get together, at least by mail, back in the old days, at least by mail, and choose a president. The people, forget it. The Constitution said, who are the people? We don't need them in this process. We want a bunch of electors appointed by the states. Well, thank God we got rid of that, right? No, that's still the system. There is no constitutional requirement that I know of for a popular election. And we know how the elections go in the United States. 60% of the people vote who could vote, and the Electoral College chooses the president no matter what the people have said. We do have elections, obviously, but again, the point is the Constitution doesn't require a popular election for the presidency. And in fact, in the original Constitution, before it was amended, not even the Senate was popularly elected. So to go running around saying that the United States Constitution and our form of democracy are a great model for the world, totally wrong. The system really is rigged against the people. Recently, of course, we all know that somebody won the popular election for the presidency, but somebody else was chosen by the Electoral College. So it does happen, and the system really is rigged. It all sounds like a fairy tale, and we don't really know what's going to happen. But one last point on all of this is that if for some reason Hillary fails to get a majority in that Electoral College, and Mr. Trump fails to get a majority in that Electoral College, then the House of Representatives will get to choose the next president. And the House of Representatives, it could turn out, might be very, very Republican. Nobody could dream this stuff up. Believe it or not, I'm not relating a Hollywood script. This is reality. Remember Richard Nixon. This is my advice to the Hillary camp. Remember Richard Nixon. Let others wallow in Watergate. We're going to do our job. Your president is not a crook. Remember that? Richard Nixon won an election, and then he won another election, and then he had to resign. Eventually, even a rigged system does produce at least a mean sort of justice. Thank you.